Alright, this one's goes. Public-private sectors urged to launch more pension schemes. Bustamante Industrial Trade Union (BITU) President General Kavan Gayle says that state, private sector, and trade unions should push for the establishment of more pension schemes 2022 for workers who are not currently on a plan. The BITU boss told Gleaner that the uptake in terms of private pension schemes were very low, around about 20%. Quote unquote, there must be a now serious push by the government and private sector and the major partners in labor, both the state, private sector, and the trade unions to push for more pension schemes. He urged pension providers to become more active in promoting pension schemes for workers who have not yet signed on to a pension agreement. Gayle pointed out the new pension plans for tourism workers set for implementation soon. Earlier this month, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett said a delayed pension scheme for tourism workers would come on stream on January this past Saturday. Alright. So this apparently this is already being set into motion. Legislation for the scheme received a nod from Parliament 2 years ago, but its implementation was set back onto the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Starting earlier this month, around 350,000 tourism workers can begin registration for the scheme. Alright. Another issue that Gales anticipated will get early attention is a public sector compensation review. Quote unquote, we want to start our discussion on the compensation review to understand clearly what it looks like and how to impact the public sector, Gayle said. Quote unquote is a major investment that the government and that we anticipate there's going to be rolled up before April 2022, which is in 3 months base, sorry. The review is intended to overhaul the structure of salaries and other emoluments in the public service to make them more equitable. And when they say that, I just want to know what the pay is going to the salary is going to be increase is going to look like, because that is a bone of contention in the public sector and these very and in private sector as well, because we're still getting pittances in a lot of cases, and that bullshit that needs to stop. I'm just going to be honest with that. There's a lot of red tape that has been tacked on to a lot of these salary infrastructures. I'm just saying. All right, is first schedule for implementation in April 2020 was deferred by a year, largely due to the resource constraint like the economic fallout caused by the pandemic. Bullshit. I'm sorry to call it there. That was always there before the pandemic. They're using the pandemic as an excuse to do more bullshit. Sorry, that is just a bull-faced lie and right off top. Another impact the impact COVID-19 had on the productive sector. I mean, we're not going to acknowledge the plantation infrastructure that was there before the pandemic. I mean, that's not to blame in any way. Of course, the BITU President General wants the country to redouble efforts in improving productivity across sectors. I mean, for some people who want to keep their pockets fattened, of course. He urged business to examine how they could create efficiency and improve productivity in the workplace. I mean, outside of paying better salaries to a lot of workers, of course. Meanwhile, Gayle said he was concerned about the low vaccination rate in the country. He urged unvaccinated Jamaicans to take the jab and comply with protocols at the health officials. And he should also say same thing to these businesses who violate these COVID-19 protocols, but who coincidentally have not received any reprimands whatsoever. But I digress as for another recording. Alright, so overall, this story, it sounds good optic-wise. Yeah, we do need to have better payment structures, with especially the pensions. But the thing about that is that we're not seeing how the exact numbers for these salary increases are, though. Yeah, there are going to be a lot of loopholes and technicalities be thrown, but let's just be honest, this was before the pandemic. They're using the pandemic to justify the bullshit that was already there prior to that. Because we're never going to admit that, hey, if we were to overall destroy and replace this plantation system that this Jamaica's been built on and maintained by, we won't have these type of discussions. But hey, we refuse to relinquish or get rid of that colonial infrastructure that Jamaica has been created from, and it's still been maintained by. But this is a good discussion to have, though. But again, it's up to the Jamaican people, the ones who really want things to change, to really control the narrative and ensure that, hey, we're not just going to get get all talk and no action. All right, I'll leave it at that. So this is for State of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Check out my other YouTube pages, Miles Goods and Perrin, Miles Productions, and Real Thoughts and Miles. Alright.